You are listening to the Lawyer Stories podcast with host Benny Gold. Lawyer Stories was founded in July 2017 and is an expanding global network of lawyers and law students sharing their personal journeys to the noble profession of the practice of law. Join us on this podcast as we dig deeper into these stories and hear from lawyers and law students from around the world in all areas of the legal profession. Here at Lawyer Stories, we believe that every lawyer has a story. What's yours?
Welcome to the Lawyer Stories podcast with Benny Gold. Today we welcome in Carlos Ferreyros, owner of Ferreyros Law and Title Company in Doral, Florida. How are you, sir?
I'm great, man. I'm great. Just living the dream. How are you doing?
Good. Nice to meet you. Good. Thanks for coming on tonight.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, for sure. How's everything going there with COVID? Is it still crazy in Florida?
Are you crazy? It's Florida. It's free for all out here.
It's a free for all. Love it. All right. So we haven't featured you yet on Instagram, Lawyer Stories, but we're going to do that soon. And, we're excited to get you up in the feed so everybody can read your story. So tell us, where were you born and raised?
So I was born in Venezuela. I was there till I was 7 years old. Not to start off in a dark story, but we lived over there. Venezuela's pretty much crap right now. Back in the day, we were there. We pretty much got robbed at gunpoint, and my dad said, "Hey, you know what? We need to get the heck out of here." Came to Miami and pretty much been here ever since. Moved a little bit here and there around, but we moved to Miami, moved to Panama for a couple of years, and came back, and and here I am. I guess more. If I'm gonna be honest, I'll be a little more gringo than I am Venezuelan.
Okay, and that's just from being here for most of your life, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah, and you said you were 7 when you came over.
I was 7 when I came over here. I have an older sister, little sister. We're 5 years apart, so we're all born there, but basically we're American as we can get. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I hear you. So what was it like growing up when you came over from Venezuela?
Thankfully, we were one of these families that had means and stuff like that. So came in, lived in an area. Hopefully, I give the same thing to my kids, but at the same time, we came in, lived in Miami Lakes, lived there pretty much our whole lives, and here we are.
Yeah, that's awesome. So when was the moment that you knew you wanted to be a lawyer? Did you have a moment, or did you just know it would provide a good lifestyle for you and your family?
So it's funny because my parents to this day still don't believe I'm a lawyer. I mean, they do, but they don't. You know what I mean? It wasn't until they saw me actually studying, right? I didn't really care for studying this and that. I was always into life as a naturally a teenager. I had his name was Mr. Manriquez. He was the pain in the ass high school teacher. Everybody hated him, but I was so fascinated with how American law and how everything worked. And actually, when I lived in Panama and stuff like that, you paid off cops, you did this, you did that. It was fascinating how the law worked. And actually, it was this guy that, which I should probably tell him one of these days, right? Tell me how things are, how life is, how law works and stuff like that. And it really intrigued me. I went to University of Florida right out of high school. And then I straight into criminology. I just knew I wanted to be an attorney.
Wow. So this was a guy, this was a teacher in high school who sort of inspired you. Is that what you're saying?
And everybody hated him.
And so what did he teach though?
It was just a subject. You know what I mean? He was into it. You know what I mean?
Oh, it was one of the things. Okay.
I mean, Matt, I don't know. I mean, you're an attorney. Con law can be the most boring thing ever, right? Con law was my favorite subject in law.
I loved it. I loved con law. Yeah.
It was, and I hated contract law, but I'm a contract attorney now, so go figure. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. It's weird how that happens in the profession.
But it's one of these things that you just start talking, and you just start listening, and you just you don't care about anything else what everybody's talking about. You don't care about what's happening in the second period or whatever. You know what I mean? You just understand things as they go along.
Okay.
And it's the first time I actually cared about something, and this guy just got me to listen. And it was that moment that I said, you know what? This is what I want to do. This is what I want to be.
Okay. So this guy in high school ended up, he doesn't know it, but he was kind of like a mentor.
And everybody hates him. Everybody hates him because he's such a hard ass. You know what I mean?
What was he teaching though? Like, was he teaching a class?
History, American history,
Okay.
European
Right.
history, everything. So
That's interesting. You probably were like, yo, what's going on here? Like, I actually really like this stuff, right?
right. Me and my wife constantly have arguments about like, how the Constitution works, this and that,
Okay.
especially with all, like she gets it and stuff up, especially, the mask mandate, this, that mandate, all this stuff. I'm just like, well, I try to explain to her how it works. You know what I mean? It all stems from that class, it really does.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's really cool. So you went on to UF. What was your college experience there? You go to some football games and stuff and get in Gainesville?
Some, yeah, no, this I bleed orange and blue. I don't know if you can see behind me.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, it's great. I have cousins who graduated.
I have a gator tattoo on my thigh. Like I bleed orange.
Really? Wow.
I love UF. We definitely the best experience of my life besides my kid's wife and everything else I'm supposed to say.
I mean, you have to say. I mean, you kind of like that's. Don't worry, it's implied, man. I get it.
If it wasn't, we'll talk about it. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, living alone, just like that, learning responsibilities. But honestly, UF is one of the best experiences of my life, and honestly, the whole entire university is devoted to you. You know what I mean? It's a small town that completely like says, "Hey, you're a student here. Whatever you need, we're here for you." So that really brought me into everything and made my life easier. It also helped me out that my dad was very supportive of me being there.
Great.
So especially me, my older sister, and my little sister all went to UF. So we're 3 generations of Gator fans over there.
Yeah, I have cousins who went to Gators. Both of them went to U Florida, both of them. So that's wicked cool. I know it's a fun time. I wish I would have visited. So then you ended up at St. Thomas Law down in Miami, right?
Yeah. I came back from Tampa Law School. I came back home to something, hey, let me get back here, let me get back home, be with my mom, stuff like that. Went to St. Thomas, graduated, and immediately went into I graduated in 2009, height of the foreclosure world.
So I want to get to that, but before you get to that, because I know there's a story behind that, but I'm just curious, can you give advice to anybody who says they want to go to law school? Like, can you give advice for somebody, because and I want to know what your law school experience was like.
Listen, so it's actually very simple. You're gonna know if you want to become an attorney or not. If you're kind of thinking about it, kind of not stuff like that. Your first semester, you kind of pretty much know. Actually, funny story about it, right? So the first year I went to law school, the Gators went to the national championship against Ohio State in Arizona. So first semester happens, right? First day of school is Monday, so is the national championship. I'm traveling to the national championship to the Gators play, right? So, I mean, what you see is what you get. This is who I am. You know what I mean? I'm a very lively person. You know what I mean? I guess not your typical law student or attorney or whatever the case may be at the time. So I missed the first Monday. I came back on Tuesday. Said, "Hey, I thought you dropped out." I was like, "No, it was just the Gators national championship." You know what I mean? Watching them win. But realistically, if you think about it, it's like a backup plan, stuff like that. Law school is not for everybody. I mean, everybody thinks, "Oh, I'm just gonna become an attorney." Sure, I mean, if you can push through it, but you're not really gonna make something out of it until you actually, you feel something for it and you actually understand it. People just push through things and stuff like that. But for me, I love being a lawyer. I truly do. It's one of the things that really it defines me. It's the way I think, it's the way I act, it's the way I teach my kids, it's the way that I live my life. You know what I mean? Like, ethics is a huge part of everything for me. You know what I mean? Like, so it really governs you something. So, well, I may not be for everybody. Like, it's something that I truly, that I embrace,
Right. So what would your advice be to somebody who's in law school, like a first year who might be struggling a little bit? Do you have anything to say to law students?
Become friends with the 2Ls and the 3Ls. Get their notes. You know what I mean? See what they went through, especially with the same teachers, and then learn from them. You know what I mean? That's what I did.
Right, there you go. Get the outlines. Get all the outlines you can, right?
Read it, but get the outlines that's what I did. I got in first year, became friends with everybody else and understood it. I still read it, but getting someone that you can understand, already have the outline for you, just makes your life a million times easier.
Right. Oh, totally. So what was it you started to talk about 2009 when you graduated? I know it was like a economy crash. What was your first job out of law school?
So my first job out of law school, so I was actually quick short story. When I was at UF, I was actually, for the last year, I was a bartender. Trying to save up money so I can backpack through Europe. One of my best friends, he graduated before I did, and he actually started working for a law firm as a foreclosure negotiator for modifications and things like that. So in 2009, I guess if you guys don't know, foreclosures was very heavy.
Right.
How did the housing market? People were doing foreclosure defense. So I actually got a job, thank God, right out of law school. And tough job, saving people's homes, trying to leave them from foreclosure and stuff like that. That was my first taste of the real estate market.
Sure.
I wish what I know now, what I went back then. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just because monetizing money during foreclosure, monetizing on a downfall is actually, it's one of the perks that you have as long as you have the knowledge, right? But back then, it's like I always spent my life was traveling throughout the state of Florida. I'm talking from Miami all the way to Tallahassee, Pensacola, Tampa, Jacksonville, driving by and literally defending homeowners from foreclosures.
Wow.
And eye-opening experience, great litigation experience, going to trial. I've been held in contempt because I filed a motion for leave to amend the day before a motion for summary judgment, and the judge didn't like it. You know what I mean? Like, I've gone through it all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Great experience. Hands down, something that I really cherish to this day.
Was there one particular defense that you used? People are being foreclosed. Like, what are the common?
So there really isn't. You know what I mean? And like, if you lend money and you got a house, technically you're gonna get it's gone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'll tell you a quick story. This guy back in the day, when you had you can get a mortgage for anything. If you had a pulse in your hand, you can get a mortgage for whatever, doesn't matter, right?
Yep.
This guy was a 48-year-old man, couldn't have made more than $24,000 a year, got approved for a $350,000 mortgage.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Obviously doesn't qualify for it, right? So after 2 years, he starts, he can't make the payments and stuff like that. He hired us. I started defending him. He says, listen, just keep me in the house as long as you can. Sure. 3 years later, right? That same house is worth $47,000.
Okay.
Right?
Wow.
3 years later, he told me, I lived in the basement. I didn't have a car. I worked my ass off, and I ate tuna basically. Finally, the house got foreclosed on. Got $47,000 and bought the house next door.
Wow.
Cash. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Like, wow. First guy to ever think about, like, way to go. You know what I mean?
That's
Unfortunately,
crazy.
that's not what everybody did. At the time, people sell you different things.
So it went from 300 and something thousand down to 47,000.
That's how bad it was in Florida.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Especially like that specific area in Orlando, but the guy was actually smart, and I use that story to this day. It's been 10 years since I've defended that guy, and I still use the story to this day because what a smart guy. I aspire to be as smart as him, to one day do the same, if I need to, be in the same position.
Well, hopefully he's doing better. He has like a job or something, but that's pretty crazy. So what made you start your own business ultimately? Like, why did you want to go off and start your company?
So after I did the foreclosure defense, I actually went to turn to the, every attorney, you experience one side, you want to go to the other side. I got a job offer I couldn't refuse for the bank side, right? The ones that doing the foreclosure. But since I knew the foreclosure defense side, I had a little more sympathy to like things that were going on. Good job, great pay. I went over to the dark side, I guess, so to speak, right?
Yeah.
And I learned so much how much red tape there is on that side. You have someone would come to you and say, hey, listen, I owe 350, the house is worth 47. I'll give you $100,000. Will you take it? The amount of red tape it takes to get to someone to prove that is insane. It's truly incredible what type of crap you have to go through. So I navigated and I used that to understand the next thing. So once I did that, I just started learning how much, I just gained knowledge. I was general counsel for a couple other companies that had to do with financing. I learned corporate work and stuff like that. And it really wasn't until 2008 that I said, like, hey, listen, there's another small little bubble that's coming on that I said, hey, listen, I can really monetize what I know and my knowledge here with the real estate world, that I should just take the leap of faith, so to speak.
Right.
And I did. And it's honestly I've never been happier.
Amazing.
Yeah, I mean, the wife hates me because I work 24/7, but
but the thing is like when, like
but
you said,
but the Amazon packages beg to differ. You know what I
mean? Every time you come home, right? There's one.
It's you know what I mean. So she hates me for it, but at the same time she loves me for it. You know what I mean?
That's hilarious. So I mean, but you work, you say 24/7, but it's like so intertwined in your life because of what you were saying earlier about how, you just like loved listening to this guy in high school talk about the law. And it's just sort of, it's not even like you're working, right? Because it's like, I mean, it's work, but it's sort of like intertwined with life. It's a lifestyle sort of.
Yeah, I mean, listen, don't get me wrong. Work is work, stress is stress.
Yeah,
life is life. You got to make money to feed the kids, right? But at the same time, it's like, I think I have great partners that I love with all my heart and soul. These guys are like my brothers.
Yep.
You know what I mean? We have a great relationship with them and stuff like that. But I'm very blessed. I take the opportunities to give back whenever I can. The other day, I was actually representing a client for a credit card collection. I heard this lady, and she told me, I could hear her. She was like suffering. She's like, I have no money. I'm Social Security. I have all this stuff. Like, she's like, I owe $12,000. And the judge graciously pushed the motion for summary judgment 60 days out.
Wow.
I immediately sent her a letter saying, hey, I'll do your case pro bono.
What I mean? Wow, nice.
It's just one of those things like, you just got to pay it back. I'm a firm believer of that. Like, things happen for a reason. I'm working with her now. I'm actually getting her insurance and things like that. I'm not necessarily giving her money, so to speak, but just providing her a service. I have, and as a real estate attorney, a real estate attorney, I'm a full service real estate firm, right? I have,
yep.
I have a title company, I have a lending company, I have realtors involved, I have insurance companies. Like, so you come into my office and that's it. You never have to leave it. That's on purpose. My whole model is from start to closing.
Did you start that way or no?
No, I mean, initially that was the idea. What I mean? And it wasn't until I got, with the current partners that I have right now, that actually evolved to a full service real estate firm, and not just law firm, but just firm in general. We have a lending company that does everything. We have hard money lenders, private money lenders, conventional, non-conforming. What I mean? We really expanded to the point that literally hey, I want to buy a house. That's an idea. You know what I mean? You happen to walk into the office and stuff like that, and we make that idea come into a reality.
You can just go step by step through your office and get that process done.
Exactly. So it's on purpose. It's so easy for someone. It never has to leave. And plus, if we can control the financing, if we can control the title, if we can control the real estate, you're in good hands.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I could tell just the way you talk, the passion you have, and that you're a true entrepreneur. So, like, tell us, what is your advice to people, young attorneys who want to start their own firm?
First and foremost, young attorneys who want to start their own firm, learn before. It took me a long time for me to actually have the bravery, for lack of a better term, for lack of bravery, to actually step on my own. I always thought that a salary, corporate, everything was the way to go. I honestly believe that. I thought I was going to be a shareholder or managing partner or somewhere like that. And I was at one point, but it wasn't for me. What you need to do is you need to learn as much as you can.
Right.
Use that knowledge, take CLEs, and actually learn on your own. Read as much as you can about the law and stuff like that. Get mentors and whatever, and then just really use that to your advantage.
Mentors are huge. Let me ask you a question about mentors. Like, besides the gentleman in high school who you're going to go back and thank after this show, like, who did you have any other mentors along the way? Like somebody who you could say showed you what to do?
Yeah, I actually had several mentors along the way. My first job, this guy, his name was John Lindemann. He was a great guy. He taught me the ropes along the way. He actually had me hear long hearings, threw me into the fire a bunch of times and stuff like that, and just said, hey, you gotta get your feet burned before you learn.
Yeah.
It's such a big difference when you have someone that's there for you that can actually, in case you're falling or burning and grinding under lava and stuff, that can bail you out, and actually have someone there.
Right.
It's a big deal, and it's someone you trust, someone you have to lean on and stuff like that. Then I had another one when I started working for the banks, actually showed me how to do different things and stuff like that.
Yep.
And then the good thing is, and also besides mentors, if you're going to join a partnership, you have to join a strong partnership, someone you can be honest with and transparent. Luckily, me and the partners that we have right now, it's like, I want to say, I know it's cliche, sound like family, but it's not just like family, it's also business.
Sure.
We get on each other when it is, we get mad at each other and we tell each other how it is. Hey, you messed up here. This is your fault. You have to be held accountable. And we do, you know what I mean? You have to be real with someone when you start your own firm, stuff like that, and you have to, you get into it and stuff. You mess up, you have to own it up. Hey, I stepped on crap and it's my fault for it, and you have to deal with it,
Right. Keep it real. That's right. So like, how do you generate most of your business? Like, is it referral based or?
So actually my entire practice, thank God, is 100% referral based.
Wow, it's amazing.
My wife has me like on Google and all these things, but if I get a call from there or something like that, it's very rare. Like I said, I'm a 24 hour, 7 days a week attorney. And for good reason. Like I have my client base knows that I'm there for them every single time. If they need me, they can text me, call me, whatever the case may be, and they know that I'm going to be there for them. Again, sometimes on weekends things are not going to happen, but some things on weekends, hey, I need you to deal with this right now. I need to, hey, honey, I need you to step away from the kids, life, and everything. I need to care for a client, and it's just understood, and that's literally been the basis of everything. It's the basis of my entire livelihood right now.
So you're very responsive. You care about your clients, and I think those are like huge elements for a good lawyer. So that's great.
They're not a number. They're not just a billable hour.
Right.
I mean, you know who your clients are. You know who the ones who are going to bring you, your livelihood and things like that. Yeah, it sounds, and I'm not putting a number to them, but the ones are the ones that do care for them. Like I have an annual, hey, come to my house. Thank you for everything that you guys bring to my family, dinner, cook, chef, everything, the entire thing.
Wow, that's awesome.
It's on purpose. You know what I mean? Yeah. Thank you for doing everything you guys do for me and my family.
Great. That's really nice. So like, what do you do anything besides real estate? Like, I know you said the titles and but are you doing anything?
So I have a lot of clients from South America that come in, right? So a lot of them, they need to do businesses, corporate paperwork, transacting. So I do, again, so it's funny, I hated contracts in law school.
Yeah.
Worst thing ever. Like I would barely stand even like staying awake on it. That's all I do now. I done litigation. I did litigation for the last 12 years, and now I don't even do litigation. I refer everything out. All I do is contract and transactional work and corporate work right now. So basically, all I do is just create operating agreements. Today I had to draft an escrow agreement about some guy lending money. And then all of a sudden he was getting collateral of like 100 gold coins. You know what I mean? Like that's like. So it's like transactional stuff like that on the spot that I constantly do on the go, and I love it because it's like critical thinking, drafting things, thinking of the worst situation, so it's really fun. Besides that, real estate is my bread and butter, but I love doing the corporate transactional side at the same time, in the sense that like, hey, this situation come up, draft something and put it together for us.
Yeah. Wow. That takes some skill though, even though you didn't love it in law school. I mean, you obviously learned along the way and you know what you're doing with that. So congrats on that. That's terrific. So like, what would you say is like the biggest challenge, like the best and the worst part about being an entrepreneur?
So it's obviously the worst part is being, it's a stress, right?
Yeah.
Have a bad month, have a bad week, have a bad whatever, what I mean? Everything relies on you. Obviously the wife works and things like that, but at the same time, it's just like you get the good comes with the bad. You have an okay August, have a great October, have a great September, so it always makes up. It all comes in waves.
Right.
As long as you have a good pipeline, as long as you have a good reputation, reputation's everything. I can go right now. So in Miami-Dade, every judge knows me. If I go to court right now, they know if I'm there, it's because I couldn't settle it. I'm a settler type of guy. You know what I mean? So if I'm there, it's because, and if I show up, it's because I have an argument. I'm just not going to roll over. If I don't have an argument, I'm telling the client, hey, you're shit out of luck. You're done, you know?
Right. So you keep it real with the clients too.
I am, listen, my client expectation is 100%, hey, I'm going to try this, but if this doesn't work, you need to settle and take a loss, right? Or if I'm on the other side, hey, I'm going to do this. If he doesn't do it, then let's go to court. So if I'm in court, the judges are, hey, Mr. Ferreyros, what are you doing here? I'm like, I tried. You know, so here I am. Here's my argument type of thing. So usually, if I'm in court, I'm winning for the most part. You know what I mean? But that's allocated on purpose. You know, it's not by accident. If I'm there and the guy tells me to do it, I might lose every once in a while just because the client told me just to go forward it, despite my advice. You know?
Right. So Carlos, tell us where you see the real estate market heading right now.
So right now, the real estate market, you know, there's a housing shortage, you know?
Yeah.
It's huge housing shortage. You know, people are just not, there's not enough houses for people. So
true.
Maybe 2-3 years, a 10% correction. But right now, whatever you see, it's up and up right now.
Yeah, well, it's a seller's market. I mean, I'm seeing that up here too.
Seller's market, but buy now because it's going to go up for the next 2-3 years. You know, it's not going down anytime soon. I see this on a regular basis, you know, and people are outbidding each other like crazy. Especially right now, I have so many South American clients from Peru, which I have a new communist president, and in Colombia and things like that. You know, these people are constantly just bringing cash over here, and you're getting outbid like crazy. You know, there's no way that you can, you know, so it's nuts.
Wow. So like, where do you see your firm in 5 to 10 years?
Hopefully, you know, let's see, in you know, so the firm right now, the way that it is structured is just, you know, we're very boutique, you know, very everything, but you know, we're expanding the way we want to expand. We're doing what we need to do. You know, I want to have at least 3 or 4 offices up and down the state. I'm actually getting waived into DC, Virginia, and things like that. I'm actually expanding to everything that I need to.
I mean, it's nice that other jurisdictions will let Floridians waive in. I mean, I waived into 2 states of my own. I'm licensed in 3, but you can't waive into Florida. You know, it's like
I have one of the kids screaming. Give me 1 second, okay?
Yeah, go ahead. Okay, so what I was saying is you can waive in from Florida to other states, but you can't.
I can waive into DC after 5 years of good standing. I've been in attorney for 12 years. So it makes it well that I'm going to, you know, move in from one state to the other on purpose, you know. So it's more, I mean, are
you gonna have a practice in DC?
You know, I'll maybe, you know, realistically, the market here in Florida is what I know. I'm doing it more in case because we do a lot of hard money transactions and stuff like that. So a lot of things we do across the country. So if I can do a closing, and so instead of me losing the money that I'm doing, you know, give it to someone else, I'd rather do the closing myself, you know?
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, that makes sense. So tell us again, like, what's your favorite part of being a lawyer? Well, last question, really. Like, what's your favorite part about being an attorney? Tell the Lawyer Stories community. Like, what do you love about it?
You get to be your own boss, no matter what. Listen, you guys are in a firm, you guys are in corporate, you guys are whatever. You want to get up one day and leave, you can. You know, and it's up to you. It's up to you, whatever you want to be. You know, it doesn't matter where you're placed or what you're doing, what type of law. You learn the way and you get to do whatever you want. You know, so that's really one of the main reasons why I became an attorney, is because I knew that any moment given time, like, hey, you know what, if I didn't really care about what I'm doing with this job or whatever, I could always go on my own and I could always be my own person. I could always be my own boss.
I think that's great advice. I do.
And it's literally where I am today. Like that was my mentality going into law school, getting out of law school, getting job after job after job, general counsel, managing attorney for the most biggest thing in Florida. You know, it was literally my main thing that I could always say, like, hey, you know what? I don't need this shit, so to speak. I can do my own thing.
Yeah. And
here I am. I mean, literally, like, here I am. I am a living proof of what I aspired to be. You can get up and go right now. Any single attorney has been, let's say risky, at least 2 or 3 years that you've been under someone. you can go and be on your own. You have enough knowledge to be the attorney that you want to be. Obviously, after 3 years, you still have a lot of learning to do, but you have enough knowledge that you can get whatever you've learned and just be your own person with a lot of pain, suffering, and money. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But it's there. The dream is there, and you can definitely do it.
Yeah, I think that's great. That's great advice. It's a great piece of knowledge for us. Is there anything like we've left out that you want to cover, Carlos?
Yeah, so I'm actually gonna show you a little bit of so I'm a huge collector. There's a little
sweet
side on me.
Let's see it.
Right. So I'm gonna show you like 19, original Contra. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, dude, I played that. Is that Nintendo?
Of course. You know what I mean? I have ready? A little who's this?
That's Al Bundy. Polk High.
Originally signed, JSA, you know what I mean?
Polk High. What do you have, like 6 touchdowns in a game?
4 touchdowns, 1 game.
4.
You know what I mean? So here, look, original Disney ticket, 1960.
Wow.
You know? So I do a little bit of collection, you know what I mean? That's, I guess, the fun side of me, you know. Look, and the last thing I'll show you. So I have
awesome. Oh, that's
Guns N' Roses.
Guns N' Roses. Is that Axl's autograph or
all of them?
All of them.
The little, you know what I mean?
Wicked
so
cool.
I mean, so it's that's a little. If you guys wanted something of me, I do a lot of collecting. A little.
Wicked cool. I love it, man. Really
yeah.
Cool. So how can everybody like get in touch with you?
So you guys can. My website is www. It's a little bit pain in the butt to say it's my last name, but here we go. Ready? www.Ferreyros Law. That's F as in Frank, ERREYROS Law LAW.com. So again, my practice isn't just solely I can close and do title work in real estate in Florida. We can lend throughout the entire country. You know what I mean? So we're there for you guys. Anything you guys need. Even if you want to call me, just shoot the shit, so to speak, and just give me some more advice. I've been through it. I've been through the ringer. I know what it is to be ups and downs, stuff like that. Thankfully, I'm in the up and up. And just give me a call. My office line is 305-669-1480.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, and congratulations on your success there with your firm. I think it's a great story. We're excited to put you up on the Lawyer Stories Instagram and Facebook feed. Just let me know whenever you're ready. Send over the email. And thanks again for being here.
Hey, listen, this is awesome. This is really awesome. I really appreciate this. This is one of the couple times I've ever done it. You know what I mean? If you ever need anything, I'm here for your listeners. You want to do a Q&A or whatever.
Yeah.
Young entrepreneurs just trying to get it done. You guys want some more advice? Man, I'm here for you guys. Okay, so
I appreciate it, man. Hey, stay right there, everybody, wherever you are in the world today.
I got an Instagram live right now, so hope I got like 7 followers. Right?
Cheers.